Alright guys, BLJ tutorial. This one is actually simpler than it looks, considering that you already have some of the basics done. The first thing that you want to keep in mind is the camera. The camera is really important for this. So the straighter that you can do it, as in the better you can make the camera face directly into the stairs like this. Even inside like this really helps. If you're like super far away like this, the camera is gonna start to tilt. So if you're like a little bit in like this, it's gonna work perfectly. And after you go like to the first or second step like this, you can turn around either by foot like this or with a turnaround animation like so, and try to keep it as straight as possible. No changing angles, only if you need to. So for example here, the camera is a little bit facing left, so I tilt my stick a little bit to the left and to the right end, sorry. Same thing applies here, whereas I'm more right on the stairs, so I tilt the stick a little bit more to the left. And after you do that, you're gonna do the long jump around here. It's like in the middle of these two tiles. You can either be a little bit more inside, a little bit here, but I usually prefer to aim in the center of this little square here. It's a really good position, and you guys will see why is that important later. Okay, so here you're gonna long jump, and notice that the long jump is slow. I'm not really how do I say this, not really doing it super fast, because we want to hit the first stair every single time. It's the best thing that you can do to make this consistent by far. The rest is the rest. If you needed to only focus in one thing, focus on that, hitting the first step like so, because you're gonna get more room, and the trick just gets easier. And being in the center of the stairs is also important because you're gonna aim to the store, not only because it's faster, but because it is easier to go through, so you don't need to get a better BLJ. It can be very average, and it's still gonna work. If you're aiming to the wall here, another approach that you can do is just doing a few long jumps by feel, and when you see that you're pretty fast, you can release it, talk to the door, hold down, and do a buffered kick. This is way safer than going through the wall in some circumstances, because going through the wall requires more speed and you can get out of bounded. There's like a dead zone here where there's no floors, no anything, and if you don't have enough speed, the game is gonna calculate that you hit the out of bounds, and it's gonna kill your speed entirely and kill your run, most likely. So another thing that you can do is, when you see that Mario is a little bit uncentered, you can adjust him very so slightly. So as you can see here, in that example my angle was facing left, so I went like a little bit more right and vice versa. All of that is really good to really be sure that you hit the door, get it nailed, you know. I'm not gonna go into timing yet in detail, but if you really want to see like a simple explanation, it's pretty much just like all this. You want to press like pa 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 pa. It starts a little bit slower, then goes all the way through, but in like a much smaller scale compared to all this. It happens all very fast, which in other words just mean that the first 3 jumps are delayed. You're gonna clip the first step, then the second jump and the third jump are gonna be delayed. You're gonna have to wait a bit, and then you can just mash all the way through, like so. And as you can see, it works most of the time. It is a hard trick by any means. It's fine to not hit it first time. Now, another tip for clipping the first step that is really not well known, but it does help, I'm pretty sure it does, is that you can slow down a bit before hitting the step. So instead of just going to the step like all the way, you like stop midair and then you go. This is gonna give you more acceleration. It's not that it's gonna give you more acceleration, but your acceleration is gonna hit the exact point where Mario clips the step. So watch my input display for this. Let me make this easier. As you can see, it can work like that. Actually, that's a really good attempt. Let me get a poorer example. So this is not a really good... Never mind, it is. When I was trying to nail it, it's not gonna work, and now it is... Oh, it's because I'm doing it. Yeah, okay, so... If I just do this... See how, like, Mario, theoretically, is hitting the first step, like so. But he's not really clipping really easily. You can still get it, obviously, but it's harder. So what you can do is this. Do you see the difference? It is a very weird sweet spot to describe. Like, if you hit like the very last frames that Mario is landing, it's gonna be bad. But if you like nail this in the third or fourth frame that Mario lands, it is like the sweet spot to get the clip. It is like one of the gold tips for this. Obviously it takes a lot of practice, but it is very much worth learning. You're not really risking anything by doing this. It just increases your consistency altogether. This is not a really good save state. It's kind of hurting my hand already, but... There you go. Okay, so... For the matching itself, since we're gonna talk about this, the frames that I usually aim is first frame for this step right here, which I'm gonna talk about in detail a little bit later. Then a fourth frame, it works literally every single time. So like that. In other words, you're trying to hit you want a 2-frame delay in your next press. So you're not gonna mash perfectly. You actually wanna micro delay your second press. In the third press, you're gonna delay by 3 frames. So it is actually exponential. Like that. And usually when it doesn't work, you're just gonna notice that you didn't really do the exponential mash. Oh yeah, another way to just do the neutral approach is just juggling Mario like that. Judging, I think it's the term, to the edge. I actually find that easier, but some people don't. Really depends. Another thing that really helps learning this time is just taking your time, just one step at a time, you know, literally. First step, boom. 2 steps, boom. Fuck. Oh my god, this save sucks. Okay. The quarter step here is like really bad. But whatever. But yeah, also like learning this time is so important just because your corridor steps are gonna be better aligned. It's just, everything comes together really. See, now it's super easy because I did the long jump at the right spot. Everything influences everything. Same applies to the infinite stairs, and I'm sure that you can figure that out by yourself now that I talked about it. But I'll still comment on 2 visual cues. The first is for this step, which is the most important. So if you look at the Mario shadow, this is what I use, but you can obviously find something that fits you best. I pay attention to the shadow. So the shadow is gonna clip the next step, like so. And I kind of try to calculate when it's gonna happen to match my A button. It did take a lot of practice, but it just works so well. Like, look at this. Yeah, like, yeah, sometimes I press it early and it doesn't work. But it works most of the time, and also another thing that you can also try, it's kind of a hack. It doesn't work every time, but it can help if you're like crazy and you want to try some new stuff. You can just try to really put Mario inside a step a little bit before clipping. Like that. You can like hold ever so slightly up right or up left and then change to up again if you're one of those mad lads. It helps because you're just gonna get a better position, a better odds to actually clip the step. Theoretically. I don't know if you can actually do this consistently, but I've done that in the past a couple of times and it increases the odds for me. I'm not sure if that's universal or not. And last thing, for the infinite stairs, oh no, sorry, there's one more thing about this, about both stairs. It is better to miss the timing early than late. First, because there is input delay. Second, because if you don't clip, you can just keep trying many times, and most of the time it just works if it's like close enough. If it's not, if it's like by a large margin, then you're gonna have to go by feel or just start over. Like just admit defeat and boom again. And yeah, try to hit these long jumps first frame because then you keep your alignment the same. And I think that's it, boys. The last only thing that I really want to point out is that the infinite stairs is kind of weird in how it works. I use also that camera setup to just align fully up like this. I just face the port, false cognitive moment, the door directly. Press C up, Mario Cam C up. The C up is after the Mario Cam. Then I just wait like 0.5 or 0.3, jump and hold up like so, and it's like perfect, like the perfect camera. It couldn't get any better than this. And after you do that, you're gonna notice by practicing, in video it's not gonna be obvious, but you're gonna notice that the timing for this step is a little bit different. Like the shadow in Mario just changes a little bit later than on the 50 star door. So be aware of that. And that's pretty much it, man. Like, I could go on about many minor details, but I think that's the essential. You guys are very capable people. I'm pretty sure you all can figure out by yourselves the rest. Maybe just this. if you tend to get stuck a lot on this on these stairs, you just want to stop mashing and just hold down. And if Mario goes on a loop like happened there, you just wait and it works. It's very consistent. See? And that's it, man. BLJs are pretty difficult, but they're not the worst thing in the world once you put all of this into action. So I hope this clears out some misunderstandings about the trick. If any of you all have questions, please ask in chat or on streams or in the comment section, whatever. This is one of the most nuanced tricks in the game, so it is important to clear the air out. But yeah, thanks again for watching and see you soon. Good luck.